What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Make sure to visit podcastformarketers.com. Smash that like button if you like the video and fucking subscribe to this channel because I'm coming out with videos every day. Now let's get down to business. Hey guys, so today I'm talking about how to create not create, that's an island. All right, so how to create good habits. I'm not going to talk about spelling and grammar today, but you can believe I'm going to talk about it tomorrow on Real Talk Tuesday about bad spelling and grammar, right? So today we're going to stay away from that, though, and it is hashtag Mailbag Monday, right? And it could be like a / Motivation Monday as well, okay? So how to create good habits, right? And this is a straight up like tactic. And this is something actually, I did like people call and have coaching calls with me. I just did a coaching call, right? And the one thing that I hadn't been doing, it's really weird how things come around full circle, right? And I'll tell you a really quick story. So, my wife would always get on my ass about not completing things, right? And, in my mind, if I say I'm going to do something, it's going to happen, right? It's just, it may not happen right now, but it's always in the back of my head, right? So I told her I would be doing something 10 years ago, right? And may not remember it, okay? But sure enough, today, it's done, right? And she can attest to that. I don't know how I do it. I call it coming full circle, right? I'll start here and maybe I started it and I didn't finish it, but then eventually I'll get back to it and say, that's what I've always wanted to do anyways. But you see this space here? This right here? This is what we call bullshit. Right? This is, just imagine this being a clock, right? I always do this backwards. My wife talks shit about me, but I did it right this time. All right, so this is bullshit, right? A little clock. What time is that then? All right. So this is bullshit. This is a waste of time, right? So now while my wife was full of shit that I wasn't like not finishing what I started, what she was right was that I wasn't getting shit done in this space. 10 years? Fuck. I heard someone say this, and I can't remember who said it, but the shit was like incredible when I heard him say it. He says we overestimate what we can do in 1 year, right? But we for sure underestimate what we can do in 10 years. And that right there kind of hit me hard in my gut. Because I just showed you how I might have said I would do something here, and then I come full circle later on, but that might have been a 10-year period, right? Well, what could I have done between there and there, right? And so a lot of people say, oh, I want to make $1 million in a year. Well, that's bullshit, but in 10 years, you for sure can make that and more, right? Some people say I'm going to make $1 million in 10 years. It's like, no, you could do way more than that. So what that made me do was purchase a journal. All right, so I'm getting somewhere. Just hang in there with me, guys. I like to kind of like preface shit. So what I did was I bought myself a journal, right? And I started writing shit down. And I didn't, what's funny is I didn't realize the importance of a journal until I wrote in mine last night. And what I did was I told myself I want to write down 20 things. And this is what I did, right? Just like this. Down to 20, right? Of what I want my life to look like in 2 years. Okay. People always kill me this 24 months. Like, how old is your kid? 24 months, 36 months, 53 months. No. Fuck. When do you stop the months, right? But 24 months, when it comes down to it, sounds better than 2 years. All right, to me, the months just sound shorter, right? So in this journal, right, I wrote down what things that I want. Like, okay, so I want Lambos, I want hoes, right? So I wrote all this stuff down. I want cheese balls, okay? It's actually cheese wheels, right? Those big ass cheese wheels that you get on the farm. So I want big cheese wheels. I'm talking about big cheese wheels too, like the big ones like this with the Swiss cheese in them. Like if that was the cheese wheel, this is a car. Like my wife gets on me about this too, right? Perspective. So that's a car, right? Beep beep. That's a cheese wheel. All right, so I wrote all this stuff down, right? And the incredible thing that happened, right? Don't laugh. All right, so the incredible thing of what happened to me was when I woke up this morning, all of this shit was bearing down on me. I bullshit you not, man. It's incredible the things that when you write them down, that there's something that happens inside of you that makes it real, right? This is what's so beautiful about leveling up with coaching calls, because it totally did that for me. So as soon as I wrote them down, and the next thing that I did was said, okay, so I need to break down shit that I can do right now, right? So the one thing that I said is I wanted to be making $1 million a month in 2 years, right? I highlighted that because that is something that I could do right now. Another thing that I said is I wanted a better relationship with my children, right? So I'll just put my children. Okay, so which means I want to talk to them more often, and I want to have more conversations with them. So what did I do? I highlighted that because on the next page over, I said, this is something I can do. Make sure that you call your kids once a week. At least that on like Facebook Messenger, have a conversation, right? With this, Lambos and hoes, I didn't highlight that because there's nothing I can really do about that right now, right? But if I wanted to make my company a $1 million company, what could I do right now to do that? So I said, well, I need to write out my Dream 100, right? I need to stop fucking around and actually write out my Dream 100. And I need to start doing that every day, right? So that was something that I could do to start to reach these 2-year goals, right? And I really liked how I did this myself. Now, to get to the point at hand with creating a good habit, there was some new shit, right? So I told myself, I'm 6'6" now. Seems like I stretched a little bit. I think I'm about 6'6" now, right? So at 6'6", 180 pounds is lanky and it's healthy and it's good, right? And that was in high school before my football coaches got a hold of me. That was my weight, right? 180 to 200 pounds. This is where I laid, right? And I looked pretty damn good, okay? So I told myself I want to get back down to my high school weight, okay? Now, that's going to take a lot of work between now and 2 years from now, and I want to maintain this weight, right? But I do what I call kickstarts. I've done it before. I'll just go raw vegan, and I'll juice, and I just kind of do a restart and a kickstart, and I do it all the time, and then I get my weight maintained, and I'm cool with that, right? What used to throw me off was traveling, right? While I was traveling in Southeast Asia, it was easy to maintain that vegan lifestyle because we had a lot of Buddhism and the Muslim cultures. They don't eat pork, or, they just have, the Buddhist, the different religions, what do they call them? The Hare Christians was over there. I remember my first time seeing them running down the street. It was awesome. I actually filmed it, but they have the culture. There's tempeh, the tofu, right in the grocery markets. It's really easy to adapt that culture. But when I left that and came back to, France and, these Australias and stuff like that, you're back to meat and potatoes, right? And Jesus, man, the food is so expensive. Like vegetables are more expensive. So it's harder to juice and just excuses for me to just go out and eat what I wanted, right? So I know what I need to do. So to create this good habit, right? And saying that I wanted to go to the gym 140 times a year wasn't good enough, right? Because I need to work out every day. So to create this this habit, I told myself in the journal from the 2-year thing, so, okay, if I want to be down to 200 pounds, then I have to work towards that. So I highlighted that. And there's a couple of things that I could do for that. So the first thing I said was my diet, right? So I'm going to go raw vegan for the next 120 days, right? And so I marked that down, in the diary, right? And this is just a small little thing here of how I did it, but I made enough boxes here to cross out, right? And I also did the same thing for going to the gym. And so my dedication is to go to the gym and work out, at least in my gym. I built a gym in my house, so it's just right downstairs. All right. Which is amazing how you'll never go there, right? And your elliptical machine, or your row machine ends up being like a hanger for jackets and stuff. All right, so I told myself that I'm going to go raw vegan and clean out, because I also realized that I have a lot of inflammation going on in my body. And whenever I went raw vegan, my wife as well, right? Women have these cramps. My wife gets them bad, right? When we went raw vegan, gone. I'm not fucking giving you some health nut fruity shit. It's just true. You can ask her. She's right behind me. Gone. No problems with inflammation, and that's what it is whatsoever. And I didn't have any back problems when I went raw vegan, right? So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back to that, right? But you have to start somewhere and create that good habit. I'm also going to go to the gym every day for at least 30 minutes, okay? How do you create that habit? You get these little boxes right here, right? And every day that you do one, you hit the box. You do this for 50 days, okay? So 50 days. In 50 days to 60 days, you can create a habit, right? So now, eventually, you're going to take this up to more, right? The raw vegan thing, you can go longer. My wife and I went vegan for 2 years, I think. Was it 2 years? It's close to that. Yeah, 2 or 3. 2 or 3 years. Yeah, I think it was longer. That was a pretty long time, right? So until we just decided, okay, whatever. We'll start adding a little fish to our diet or whatever. Actually, I went to the doctor. Yeah, 4 different countries, yeah. And the doctor, I went to a doctor and got a full blood work, and she was like, listen, you need to put some real good, I want you to start eating fish because you don't have enough good cholesterol. So anyways, cholesterol. So then every day that you do it, you mark an X, right? So every day you do this, you mark an X. If you fuck up, you have to start all over again, right? Which that sucks, because especially if, you got a bunch of X's, right? Like this. And then you miss a day, you got to start over again, right? So you want to keep creating that habit. How do you create that habit is by just committing to something small, right? So for me, with not going on a diet, changing my diet, there's a big difference, right? I said that I'm going to juice at least once a day, right? So that's what's inside of this. But now normally I juice twice a day. I have one in the morning, and then I have one in the evening as well, right? But I just commit to one, right? And I only committed to going 120 days raw vegan, which is really easy for me to do. Doesn't bother us at all to do it. And so I could do it longer than that, okay? But I didn't commit to more than 120 days, just a short-term goal. This is how your brain works. I only committed to 30 minutes in the gym a day, but shit, I want to be in there 6 hours a day if I could possibly do it, right? So, but I'm only going to commit to those 30 minutes. Now, in 50 days, sure enough, my body will start to say, hey, man, you can stay a little bit longer and then a little bit longer. And if you go longer, cool. But don't do any less than your 30 minutes. And continue to do that in your journal. Write the shit down. This shit is amazing, right? A lot of you guys already know that. Why did you tell me? Because I didn't have any idea how powerful it would be. And I've written things down before, but I didn't know how, because if I say something out of my mouth, if I say, next year I'm going to do this, that's pressure enough on me. Enough, right? My wife can tell you, I'm dead ass. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm dead ass pretty much going to do it. The only reason I don't is because I physically could not do whatever I said I was going to do, right? But pretty much if I say I'm going to do something, I'm dead ass on it. Writing it down, oh my God, that just puts so much more pressure on myself to make things happen and actually work towards what I'm going to talk about doing, right? So this is exactly what I did. And I already knew this is how you create good habits. You just do it every day. It's just like when I went vegan before, that wasn't a problem, but the exercise was. So I told myself I'm going to walk a mile every morning. And that's what I did. I didn't go do any more or any less than that. I walked a mile every morning. But then a couple of days went by, like a couple of days, excuse me, I'm lying. Like a month went by. And then one morning I walked 7 miles. It was incredible. I'm like, what the fuck? I was in Panama. All right. So it was hot as fuck, right? I mean, like, here's the sun. Bing, 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 bing. Hot, right? Like, hot as hell. There's the sun. Rah, right? And here I am, right? Woo! Like, happy as fuck, running almost at a really fast, not like the goofy fast walk, just a regular, like, swagger walk. Let me make that correct. I wasn't doing the real funny. We were in the mountains in the Pyrenees, like, I don't know, a month ago, and we saw all these people doing this real fast walk like they had to take a shit. I'm like, no, that's not sexy at all. Like, not that type of walk. I like the Olympic walk. And no, I'm just doing a real fast, nice swagger walk. Like, like a really hip, cool dude, like in a rush. All right, so but I did 7 miles, right? And because I made that habit every day, and I couldn't stop walking. Like, even when I took a flight to China from Panama, and while I was in China, I got up in the morning and I had to walk somewhere. I didn't know where the fuck to go, right? But it was a trip. I went to this park, and it was really awesome from doing my walk. And it was this huge park in Shanghai. And in the park, I swear, it was like a TV. There were lines of Chinese people doing that Tai Chi, all moving in the same rhythm in the morning. It was like, I don't know, 6 in the morning. The shit was awesome. And I got to walk around this big-ass park in the middle of Shanghai. But I had created a habit. And so even like now, doing these YouTube videos, it's a habit now. I can't not do it. I was on a coaching call just before this, and I'm late, but I don't care. I'm still going to do this fucking video because it's just in me, right? And so, but working out for me sucks ass. I hate it. So I have to create a habit out of it. So how I do this is marking this off every day. And if you don't complete a day, you got to start all over again. So that's how you create good habits. And get that journal, man. I bought a moleskin journal. I even try to find cool pens, but I got to go buy a Mont Blanc pen because I'm anal about pens as well. But get the journal, man, with like 180, 300 something pages. Get the journal, write the shit down. There's power in writing things down. I had no idea until I did it last night. I mean, I've written things down before, but not like this, right? There's power in writing the shit down and making sure you do something. Because right now it's on my head. Okay, I need to call my daughters. I need to work out. I need to do this. I know that I need to, work on my Dream 100. It's all in my fucking face right now, right? It's really kind of irritating, but it's good because now I'm going to do it. Right, and my wife telling me to do it doesn't work. She's in the background going, nope, Right, that doesn't work. Like, and it's not even like I would talk shit to her like she's nagging me or something. It's just that doesn't work. But me telling myself to do something, oh my God, it's amazing. So get your journal, write down in it, and then do this exercise and create good habits. Coffee break.